I hate the way I look. Not in a very dramatic way, but in a way where I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, wow, I'm so bloated today. I look fat. Or in the way where I see a random photo of me and think, I look disgusting. Or in a way that I see a girl who's like half of my size and like, wow, she have a good body. Why am I like this? This idea of I hate the way I look is everywhere. It's not just me that feeling that way. I believe that it is not only women, also a lot of men feel that way too. So today, I bring you the theme I hate the way I look. So I think I developed this idea of like I don't like the way I look since I was like a very young age. When I grew up in Korea, I grew up in Korea, and obviously like the beauty standards in Korea is a lot more different to Western views, and I got a lot of comments on my looks when I was younger, saying, "Oh, she's so chubby. She must gonna be so tall when she grow up," or "Oh, you look a lot like your dad," or "Oh, like she's really tan." And when I was younger, I never thought myself as a pretty girl, and I think that insecurity was always within me, that I was always a little bit bigger than other people, that I was never gonna be that petite, innocent looking girl. Um, when I moved to New Zealand, I didn't really speak English. On top of that, I was severely overweight. And, not being able to speak English and being a little bit overweight and wearing glasses and just, really awful style like normal other 11-year-olds do, I didn't have any friends. Well, I did have few friends, but I didn't really have a friend that I could, hang out and just chill out and all that stuff. By the time that I was in high school, I got a lot of, like I got insane amount of comments on the way I look. I remember like one of the comments that I used to get in high school was, "You're really pretty for an Asian girl." You're really pretty for an Asian girl. And, you know, I didn't know it was that bad until now. I'm thinking back like, holy, I used to get all those comments and just think like, whatever. And high school to my very early adulthood, so like 18, I always had issues with, my weight, the way I looked. I'm always wearing makeup. I'm always trying to look presentable, always trying to, just look my best. And I think that deep down, my inner child is not healed, and that is the reason why that I always struggled when I was younger. Now I'm 22. I still struggle, like every single fucking day. I'm like, oh my god, give me a break. It's been a minute since I felt like, yeah, I like everything about my look. And it's just not me too, This is everybody. I see my friends, they always commenting on how they look and how they don't feel very right. And these are the girls that I think they're one of the most beautiful girls, and they have a really they lack self-love. So I did my research. So there is a theory called self-discrepancy theory. So what he's basically saying, there is three versions of you: the actual self, the ideal self, and oat self. The actual self is who you believe you are right now, your real face, your real body, and your personality. an ideal self and who you wish to be. Oh, I should be prettier, I can be skinnier, I can be more like all that stuff. That is the ideal self. And there's old self, which is who you feel like you should be. I should look put together, I should look more attractive, I should just be better. And this is the reason why this is like haunting us almost, is the more gap we have on our actual self to our ideal self, we feel disappointed, we're not enough, and there is a lot more shame and guilt come along if there's bigger gap to it. And this is the reason why that it is significantly worse now, is because we always on our phone comparing ourselves with other people, even though you might not be thinking that you're comparing yourself, but you are exposed to um the ideal look. And there is like another theory, is I don't know, I can't like think of the name, but I think it was like a research, the more exposure you get, and it's the less dissatisfaction you're gonna have. Anyways, this is like a real thing. It's not just like, oh, everybody feel that way. This is like, there is a there is a paper on this. And in his research he basically talk about all these stuff, and how this is actually impacting individually, like how it brings up insecurities and the reason why, all that stuff. And there are few ways to stop criticizing yourself. It's not just love yourself. I think that's like the one of the hardest thing, when people are like, oh, you should just like, you need to love yourself a little bit more. Ugh. Like, it's so hard to love yourself when you're in a deep shithole. It it's it's so hard. And I'm the person who went like, I've hit my rock bottoms. There's no way that I can think positively during that time. But when you have space, I think these little tips might help you, because you deserve to speak to yourself kindly. You deserve to have a little bit of peace without any criticism on how you look, and how that you can be better, that you are enough. And I know it's hard, but it might help. So these are the few things that he suggested in his article, is to question the ideal, because we talked about the ideal self. So do I actually want to look like this, or do I, like, is this like my actual original idea that I should look like this? We have this like idea of beauty standards, like clear skin, tan, skinny, curvy. You can't have all that at once. It is impossible. And you kind of think to yourself, like, is this even possible? Like, am I like not thinking that this is like, you know, whatever it is? And shrink the gap between that ideal self and your actual self. So instead of like, as an example, I would say, oh, I could be 10 kgs like lighter. Instead of thinking that way, I can limit my gap to, I want to like eat a little bit healthier. I want to work out more. Not just because, I want to look in a certain way, but, just apparently this is good for me. So I'm going to do it. And then apparently this is actually like very significant in your mental health and your own health too. So there that is. Or, oh, and the lastly, neutral self talk. Not saying, oh, I'm the most baddest girl in the whole world. Not in an ego way, but in a way of just like actually accepting for who you are. Like, this is my face. This is my body. I have to live like this for next maybe 5 years, and I'll get old and I might get a little bit wrinkly. But in this very moment, I just accept it, right? If somebody's gonna give you a piece of cake, you're not gonna be like, this cake could be better. You just eat it as it is. It's the same idea. Just a little gentle acceptance, because by even accepting the way we are is like a very it gives us a bit of clarity and give up a little bit of peace. And you know, you deserve a peace. You deserve to feel better. So, anyways, back to our theme. I hate the way I look. And if you're out there, today was a lot harder to love yourself, and today was a day that you really absolutely felt like shit. I want to I want to ask you, would you be able to say that to your friends? Would you be able to say that to your mother, your father, your daughter, your sister, your son? Because you also deserve that kind talk, not just to others. So if you're out there thinking that I hate the way I look, I think you're beautiful. And I hope you find a little bit of peace listening to this. And you know what? You're not alone. I feel like that too. And I feel like that a lot of the time, unfortunately. And yeah, thank you for watching. You know, I wasn't really thinking through how I'm gonna finish this, but yeah. I think I was just yapping a lot. I think this is like I was like thinking I was like maybe I should write something down to do this. And I just kind of just rabble. I was like but anyways, have a peaceful night. You deserve the rest.